Here's everything I have right now: a domain name, about 100 people on an email list, and a folder filled with thousands of designs that have already made real money. That's it. No functioning store, not yet, but that's going to change today. This is the beginning of my rebuild. I spent 4 years building an Etsy shop to just under $1 million, and I learned an enormous amount doing it. And I also made some decisions that I absolutely would not make again. So I'm building it all again, but this time on a platform that I actually own. And I'm filming every step of it, every decision, every cost, every mistake as I make it, not the cleaned up version afterwards. So let me tell you why I think this is worth your time. Because there's no shortage of people on the internet telling you how to start an online business. Because almost all of that advice comes from somebody already at the top of the mountain enjoying the view, which is lovely. But the useful part was never the view. It was the actual climb. What did you actually do? What did you skip? What did you spend money on that you would never buy again? Nobody ever films that part, because by the time anyone's actually worth listening to, they've already done it years ago and forget half of how they got there. So I'm doing it right now, starting this week, with everything I learned the first time and none of the infrastructure yet. So you get to watch the whole thing from zero. And honestly, if you're anywhere near the start right now, this is more useful to you than the highlight reel. Here's what I'm genuinely excited about, and it's not the actual store. Think about the first time you built something yourself that's complicated. A piece of IKEA furniture, a complicated recipe, anything with instructions. It takes forever. You backtrack. You put in a panel the wrong way and you have to undo 40 minutes of work. You end up with something that works but has a slightly wonky door. Now think about the second time you do it. You don't read the instructions the same way. You already know which step matters and which one you can do roughly. You know what bit looks fine but causes problems later. It takes you a fraction of the time and it comes out better. That's where I am. I've built once. I know what my customer buys. I know which of my designs convert because I have 4 years of data telling me exactly that. I know what a good product looks like before it's crowded. What I don't have is the structure yet. And the structure is the fast part. And that's what I'm going to show you. Quick thing before we get into the decisions. Everything I'm building over this series is aimed at one idea: owning the parts of your business that nobody can take away from you. Owning your email list, your website, and your traffic. And I have a free Build Beyond Etsy checklist that walks you through where your own business currently sits on that, which parts you actually own, and which parts you're only renting. It's linked below. It takes about 10 minutes. Run it on your shop before the next episode. Everything I do from here is aimed at the gaps it finds. Okay, I've got 3 decisions. Decision 1 is the platform, and I'm choosing Shopify. Now, before you come at me, let me explain why. Let me be honest about what this does and doesn't get me, because I'm not interested in swapping one blind spot for another. Shopify can shut an account down. Any platform can. I'm not magically safe. But here's the difference, and it's the whole reason I'm doing it this way. The domain is mine. If anything ever happened to the account, I still own the address. I can back the entire site up and stand it back up somewhere else in a matter of days. And the customer list is mine. Nobody stands between me and the people who buy from me. And that's the real difference between renting and owning. It isn't that you can't get evicted. It's that you can take the things with you if you ever do. And I picked it for some boring reasons too. It's genuinely easy to use, and the app ecosystem makes it so that I'm not paying a developer every time that I want to implement something new. Decision 2 is the email list, and I'm starting at just 100 emails. I'm using Klaviyo. And I want to be straight with you about that number because I know 100 emails seems like a lot to some of you. I had roughly 40,000 customers on Etsy. That's 40,000 people that liked my work enough to pay for it. And I collected almost none of those emails. That was the single biggest mistake I made running that business. Not the products, not the pricing, not the SEO. I got most of that right. I just never built the one asset that was truly mine. And by the time that I understood that, I had already left an enormous amount of value on the table. So this time it's going in on day one. A pop-up live on the site to capture emails before the traffic even starts. A QR code printed on the insert card of every physical order that ships, and an email capture built into the delivery of every digital item. Those last two were quietly starting to work for me in my Etsy shop. I just started it far too late. So if you take just one thing from this video, take this. Start your email list right now, today. First thing, 25 people is a fine place to start. 0 is a fine place to start. What isn't fine is having a great year and having nothing left to show for it afterwards. Decision 3 is traffic. And this one's a genuine shift because I relied almost solely on Etsy traffic. That was the engine. I did some generic pins on Pinterest, but it was lazy. There was no real strategy, just some casual pinning. This time I'm leading with Google Ads and a Pinterest strategy. And this is my reasoning for that. My customer isn't browsing. She's searching. She's planning a specific event on a specific date, a birthday, a wedding, a bridal shower, a particular theme at a particular time. She's searching for it. That's intent. And intent are exactly what Google Ads and Pinterest are designed to catch. Now, paid ads cost money, and nobody loves that. But hang on to this distinction because it's what makes it worth doing. Paid traffic is renting, the same as the Etsy search was. The entire point of paying for a customer is to then capture something you own. You capture the email address, and then you have a repeat customer. If you're paying for traffic and not capturing anything, you're paying for it twice. So that's day one. Shopify, Klaviyo, a pop-up, about 100 people on an email list who probably don't remember me anymore. It doesn't look like much, but I want to say one thing about it before I go. Almost everything that made that first shop work isn't in that list. I know how to find a product before it gets too crowded. I know what designs convert for me. I know what my customer wants to buy. None of that is infrastructure. It all came with me. So if you're in the beginning of something right now, a new shop, your first shop, a business you've been meaning to start for the last 2 years, that's the part that's worth hearing. The setup is the easy part. It's a weekend and a few subscriptions. What takes time is knowing what to put in it. And that you build by doing the thing. In the next episode, I'm actually building it. Store structure, which listings go up first, and what it actually costs to get to day one. Real numbers, not estimates. Subscribe if you want to watch it all happen in real time, because this is going to be fun. I'll see you in the next one.